The Minnesota legislature in 2013 asked the University of Minnesota to begin study into the connection between transportation policy and economic competitiveness. Specifically, the legislature asked that we look at three different areas: industry clusters and freight, transportation finance, and innovations in transportation technology. In each of those cases, we can see a clear connection between developments in those areas and the ability for Minnesota to be competitive in the marketplace. When it comes to industry clusters and freight, this is a method that recognizes what are the strong areas of Minnesota's economy and how can we use the transportation system to allow those strengths to get their goods to destinations throughout the state, throughout the region, throughout the country, and throughout the world.
What we heard from a lot of the manufacturers was the most important thing to them were smooth pavements. And for any manufacturer that deals with fragile components, when they're taking those components over a rough road, their percent of product damage goes up and their profitability goes down. So smooth roads are important.
What we're seeing is that producers, whether they're local farmers or corporate farms, have been upping their trucking capacity and hauling grain longer distances to more competitive buyers. Our ultimate aim is to create a visualization tool that can help transportation planners and policymakers better understand what is going on the roads as it relates to grain movement and the grain supply chain, and what exactly is the impact on the road network.
It's very important to study where money comes from, where it's allocated, and what are the impacts. So that's what we study in the finance component of the TPEC project. We have been working on the Minnesota Transportation Finance Database since several years ago, and the information used to be scattered, fragmented, and inconsistent. It's the first time ever we're able to piece things together for policymaking, applied research, and for public engagement. And the data includes highway, local roads, and transit systems. It comes from all levels of government and across many agencies. Just last week, we got a request from a MnDOT analyst asking for historical data about vehicle registration, and we were able to find that out for them.
Finally, we're in a very exciting time in terms of transportation technology developments. With the development of self-driving cars, with other related developments.
This type of technology really could be the answer for those folks that need more access to mobility. Many times it's easy for us in the urban area in Minneapolis-St. Paul to sit in our offices or sit in our businesses and think about policy, but in fact, what the committee did is they went out to areas in greater Minnesota and held discussions with people there so that they were hearing all of the voices that they needed in order to make the kind of policies that we need. For example, we had one representative who spoke passionately about the need for people with disabilities in greater Minnesota to have more access to mobility. And she actually even loans out her van to other people who don't have access to transportation. So it's that kind of commitment that we were looking for on this task force. We need to remind people, and especially policymakers, that there's lots of different voices with lots of different abilities and lots of seniors and others who will need this technology to work for them. Our economy depends on all of us being able to contribute.
I think we often think of it as commuting to work, and that's what transportation is. But it's so much more. It's so much more with the quality of life, with our economy. The Transportation Policy and Economic Competitiveness Program, it helps us have some discussion about what transportation's relationship really is to the economy of the state of Minnesota. That's important. That's why we're here in transportation.